4 days, 12-hour flight, both ways. Now tell me that doesn't sound like a good time. But it was to Barcelona, Spain. One of our favorite cities in the world.
Darn scootin' tootin'. We're talking 4 days, 2 couples with a lot of laughs, great food, and maybe a few travel hiccups along the way. But stay tuned for the details.
Yep. Welcome back to Travel Tips and Recommendations with Nikki and Tommie. I'm Nikki.
She is. And I'm Tommie. And as you know, we are happily retired Army veterans. But now travel is a huge part of our life.
Yes. Mm-hmm. And it was an adventure.
It was.
But that's what makes it fun. You ready?
I am.
Let's go.
So let's talk about this adventure. All right. We land at Prat Airport thinking that we're about to start our Barcelona getaway smooth and easy. Nope. We had to pump our brakes just a little bit.
Yeah. We exited the plane. Mm-hmm. You know, it's not uncommon to exit the plane, to get down the stairs, get on the bus.
She said stairs, y'all. And then she said get on the bus, y'all.
Yes. And then we hit the longest customs line that we've ever been in. It was almost 2 hours in this line, y'all.
We walked 20 steps into the building and stopped.
That's it. And I mean, no joke. It stopped.
But hey, the good news was while we were in line, we were able to meet some very good people from Peru, and we've been to Peru. Mm-hmm. And so
we had none but time but to talk.
Yeah. Hey, look, and we stood in the same place for about 30 to 40 minutes. Yeah. But anyway, we ended up getting our bags. Then after we got our bags, we moved on out. Oh. And then we got our taxi because we had to get in line for the...
Let's slow down a little bit. Because we have to mention our private driver fiasco. So I had made sure to schedule Black Lane. I'm just going to drop it there.
Say it.
So I did schedule a ride with them. And as soon as we land, I got a message saying that our driver was there. So unbeknownst to us that we were going to have to stand into this long customs line and didn't know how long it was going to take us to get through this actual line.
Now, who knows it's going to take 2 hours?
Yeah. So as I'm texting with the driver, letting them know, hey, this is a long line. I don't know how long it's going to take, but I'm just kind of letting him know every 20 minutes or so that we're still in line.
And
I'm sending him pictures.
Seemed like.
And he was responding saying, oh, yes, this happens all the time. No worries. I'm here. Don't worry about it. So I thought everything was going to be fine. So back to what Tommie's talking about, getting into the taxis. Well, we had no other choice because our driver left.
That joker left. He texted and said, bye.
Your driver has canceled the ride.
Holla. So the good news is, that's why I said it, is because once you go down the escalator, where it tells you where the taxis are, where you can catch them. We went down the escalator and you look over and you see a long line of people.
And that's the last thing we wanted, was to get out of the customs long line to get into another line.
After we got on a bus and went down the steps. I'm going to keep bringing that up. But anyway, so we're like, are you kidding me? Yeah. And then we're deciding whether we should Uber or not. But then if you look a little further right, you'll see thousands, hundreds of cabs, and they just keep coming, right? Yeah. So even though the line, and I'm not even joking, it was at least 100, maybe 120 people in front of us. But it only took us about 20 minutes to get from when we got in line to when we actually got in the cab.
Yeah, it moved really quickly.
Very fast. And like I said, you see a sea full of cabs. And once those are moved forward, you see another sea. They just keep coming. So that is a good thing about the airport.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Now, back to the taxi. We get in the taxi. And then my love gives the taxi driver the address. And the taxi guy looks at it and he's like,
oh, yeah. No
got
problem.
it. And then we drive for 15 minutes and we're just looking out the window because, hey,
we don't know where we're going.
We have no idea
not from
which way we're supposed to go. Because this is one of the rare times where we didn't put it in the phone ourselves and follow it.
Yeah.
Tip for you.
Yeah.
But anyway, 15 minutes later, he stops in front of a building that looks nothing like a hotel. So I'm like, getting my arm stretching and everything because I'm like, these jokers trying to kidnap us. All right, so it's about to go down. You hear what I'm saying? But what happened is he misread the instructions or the directions. The address, yes. Mm-hmm. And then we ended up having to go that 15 minutes back, and then because of traffic, it took us almost an hour to get to the hotel.
Yes, so just imagine. You're getting off the plane, you're going down the stairs, get on the bus, 90-minute customs, long 20-minute line for the cab driver, then get into a car.
He goes the wrong way.
In the car for over an hour.
Yeah. And then we got stuck in traffic coming back. And then we found out why we were stuck in traffic, but it's still ridiculous.
There was a student protest going on during that time. It was already scheduled, so of course we didn't know anything about that.
It didn't make us feel any better.
So by the time we were staying at the H10 Metropolitan Hotel, mm-hmm. and by the time we got there, the driver had to maneuver several areas because everything was blocked off due to the protest.
And it was blocked off by cops standing there.
Right.
And so he wasn't able to drop us off in front of the hotel.
Right.
So we were driving, and while we were driving, Nikki
saw a H10 hotel. I said, "Oh, well, that's it."
Nikki saw
that was on me.
Nikki saw the H10 hotel. I saw it too, but I didn't say that because the cab driver said your hotel's right up there.
And I went. And Nikki said, "Well, there's one right here."
Nikki was like, "Come on, baby, don't follow me." So we got our bags. We paid the cab driver, and then we lugged our baggage on the cobblestone road sidewalks.
It wasn't that far of a walk though, but still, we got there. Yeah, got there, walked in, and said, "Please tell us this is the right hotel."
He greeted us.
He
and
looked
he was
at
just
my
so
address.
Happy.
That's not the right hotel.
Yeah, he said.
But he did us a solid. He called the other hotel, which was just the other block. It wasn't that far either, going to the other hotel. Down. So he called the other hotel and let them know that we were there, so that they were already expecting us.
You got some crazy Americans headed your way that don't know the directions. So
it wasn't that bad, but we were able to go to the other hotel, get checked in, no issue at all. Yeah. But we were those people lugging luggage on the cobblestone streets.
Not just luggage, but if you were in one spot, we passed you twice. But once again, we have some good news for you. We got to the H10, the Metropolitan is where we were supposed to go.
Yeah.
And we walked in, they greeted us. They were so cheerful because they were expecting us. They gave us champagne, they gave us mimosas, candy. They got some nice little candies there. But anyway, but it was cute.
Boutique hotel.
It was cute. You know, I'll give you the cute thing. And it was bigger than I thought it would be.
All right, cute.
Hey.
So
I said what I said.
Our friends, Audra and Lance, were on their way also because they were a few hours behind us flying.
And we were worried that they were going to get caught up in this madness.
So as soon as we landed, and I'm texting them, just so that they can see all the messages by the time they landed and open their phone and saying that, hey, it's a long customs line, just be prepared, pack your patience, you're doing all that. Them jokers, doggone.
First off, they got let off in the airport. They had the regular walkway to the airport. They didn't have to go down steps, first off. Second of all, there was no customs line for them. They made it through in 10 minutes. And guess what? Their private car was sitting there waiting to professionally and privately escort them to the hotel. And guess what? They went to the right hotel.
And got dropped off right in front of the hotel. So, but if nothing else, I'm glad we were the ones to experience that because, we got all that out the way. And I would hate for our clients, even though, they're friends, but I would hate for other people to have to go through that. I'd rather us do it.
I am so glad they made it without any trouble.
It was fine. Anyway, so that night we get in the hotel, checked in and everything, but sleep won because we were exhausted. We had a long day. We just described the whole day to you. It was a long day and jet lag got the best of us.
Yeah, we met them, made sure they was good. They checked in. We was like, we're just going to lay down for a little bit. It was what, 10 o'clock?
10 o'clock at night
10
before we woke up again.
So, whoop, day one down.
Yeah. So then day two,
Right.
we started fresh with a great breakfast at the hotel.
And that was another surprising thing. I didn't know there was a hotel there first, restaurant there first off, but the restaurant was very good. They made to order breakfast and a nice little bar, so that was great.
Yep. So we had breakfast with our friends that morning in preparation for our full day touring.
Yeah, and then it was time for the Best of Gaudi. Now, it's a tour that we signed up for with our friends, and it takes you to the Basilica La Sagrada Familia. Now, so we experienced a little bit of Barcelona, but we wanted to see more. And then our friends wanted to go there, so we was like, might as well take advantage of it. So we took a cab ride to the Basilica, and we had seen it before. We had a private tour before, but I'm going to tell you, the La Sagrada, even if you've been there, me and Nikki were looking and was like, hey, did you notice that land? Blah, blah, blah. So it was pretty interesting. And you also have to remember it's consistently being finished. Well, I guess is the best way to say it. Yeah, they're constantly working on it.
Yeah.
So, and it's a masterpiece, La Sagrada. It's just amazing.
Yeah, but that's the thing too. With make sure you go with the tour guides though, because we learned more information from this tour guide than we did the last tour guide. Not that it was bad or anything. You just learn different things, different perspectives about the La Sagrada. Yeah,
but you get to see. Yes, that's 100% correct. And just seeing the building, it has different facades all around the building, and then there's a story to each facade.
Yeah, and it's still being built on.
Yeah, and the one thing that's so just amazing is the columns inside that look like trees, and then the stained glass is just amazing.
Right.
So, and the biggest thing also is just the fact of the story that's behind Gaudi's efforts to get this. He worked on it until he was tragically killed in a tram hit him. And another thing, a tram hit him, and then because he didn't look like somebody that people would recognize, they just walked by him. So he ended up dying eventually somebody found and realized who he was, and they took him to the hospital, but it was too late. But that story, and then the way it's still being worked on 100 years, 80 years after his death, is pretty impressive.
Yeah. After we did the La Sagrada, we went on a bus ride to Prat, which is another amazing project that Gaudi did. It's a beautiful park, very colorful, creative. It's definitely showcasing Gaudi's talents there in that park.
And the weird thing is, it's a failed project, because it was supposed to be a garden city for the wealthy, but there's only 2 homes built on it. One, his friends, and then his. But I guess Barcelona said, "Nah, we ain't gonna do that." But it's a failed project, yes, but
however,
absolutely worth the visit. Yeah, it's just another example, like Nikki said before, that a tour guide, when you're looking at something unique and beautiful, you need somebody that can explain it instead of you having to track Google and figure it out yourself. So it's pretty interesting. Yeah.
So we wrapped up that day. We headed back to the hotel area, and we had dinner at the restaurant next to the hotel called Tapa. Of course, Spain is notorious for the tapas. So we couldn't leave without going to a place to have some great service, good food, and sleep.
Yeah, you guessed it. Sleep again. Jet lag
we went to sleep.
Quite worn off yet. But then it was time for day 3, right? And this was a special day because everybody, the 4 of us, had never done this. So it was new to all of us. So we headed out early for the Montserrat with the cogwheel train, a tapas and wine tour. So that was the whole tour. So
we didn't do any kind of research before, so didn't know what to expect with the cogwheel train, because I just thought it would be interesting, and that it was. We took like a 45-minute bus ride to the mountains, and the mountain views were amazing. Once you get onto the train to the cogwheel train, you know, as you're going up, because you
straight
consistently going up, you know, and just seeing the surroundings. It's like, it's just amazing, you know, how that whole thing was crafted.
And it's a short ride, but you definitely go to the top of the top levels of the mountain.
Where you go to the Santa Maria de Montserrat Abbey.
Yes.
Yeah.
And in that abbey, it's they have what's called a Black Madonna, and we were going to see it, but the line to see it was
a line.
long. And if you ain't noticed, we aren't a fan of lines on this trip specifically.
No, not at all.
We
saw the cross over there and said, "Oh." That our tour guide that we met there, he said, you know, meet back here in an hour and a half. Yeah. And he said, we saw the cross over there. Said that would be great to go see that.
And we said, we can make it back an hour and a half. He was like, easy. Just follow the path. You can make it back easy. Some people make it back 30 minutes. The lies he tells.
Oh my gosh. So we did the hike. It was 20 minutes to the cross.
That's if you're in decent shape. Because so the path, it's not real. It's a trail, you can call it that, but it's a smooth, probably about 15 feet wide, give or take, path and there's dirt that you walk up, but you're walking up the mountain to get to this cross. And you know, we started off on a pace because we're like, well, we only got a short amount of time, so let's get it.
Your chest to your knees.
And then once you start getting it, you can't punk out. So the three of us,
back to our army days. It's like, Lance, well, we know what to do.
It was Lance, me, and Nikki. And Nikki's like, shoot, y'all ain't gonna do me like that. And then Lance like, well, shoot, I walk every day. And then I'm like, well, I ain't no punk. So we all stayed together, walking up there, and we stayed pressing. And by the time we got to the cross, it was great.
A short line.
It was great that we made it. Yes, It was a short line. But then we started to realize we gotta go back.
I'm telling you, it ain't for the faint of heart to go on that hike.
So if you make it to Montserrat, I would say before you take that path up to the cross, the advantage is there's sites along the way, there's statues and different areas that are marked along the way, so plenty of picture-taking opportunities.
We were just on a time limit, so if you go up there without that, then you just take your time going to the cross. But we had to hustle. Yeah. We had to hustle and get it, and by God.
But the views are amazing because, like I said, you're on top of the doggone mountain, so you can see all around you. So that's worth it just enough. But then, like I said, you're walking up and up. And then when you come back, you think, okay, I'm going down. You're still walking up. Somehow.
After we did all that, and we finished
and we made it back okay.
We made it back fine. Met up with the fourth party because she went to the museum.
She was the only smart one.
Yeah.
Because our tour guide was talking about it, and she read between the lines, and she was like, you know what? I'm going to look at the museum.
Yeah, I ain't doing that. Yeah. But after we did all that, get back down, we
got on the bus.
Back on the bus. We went to the Olar del Mar winery, which is where we had the wine tours of the vineyard, grape tasting, and there was an underground cellar there. Yeah. Even Tommie doesn't really drink wine very much, you know, but you liked it enough.
I did. I liked it. I liked the adventure. All right, so I'll taste and try what's going on, but I'm not a super wine. But there was one wine that I did like there. Yeah. So I prefer the sweet wines. That's why I say I'm not a wine drinker.
Yeah. One of the bonuses, though, of us being there was this Cadillac showcase going on there. Just like out the blue, they had the Cadillac flags up and banners, different cars, the new electric SUVs that Cadillac has. And so we tasted wine, we had their charcuterie, and I didn't like the charcuterie as much as I usually do. They had some different type of stuff there, but tasted wine. And then after we had the wine tasting, we had the ability to go on top of the roof
where you could sit and purchase
drink
glasses
more
of wine or
it was
bottles
wine,
of wine.
wine. This entire trip was about the wine.
Yeah, and I would say that the main building there is it's nice. It's nicely set up.
Yeah.
So it's that was definitely worth the trip too.
Yeah. So after all the wine, I was like, I definitely don't want any more tapas.
And we hadn't eaten since breakfast.
Yeah. I wanted ramen.
And you know my baby want ramen? Guess what I do? Find some ramen. So I went and talked to the concierge to find out, a close ramen place that we could walk to. And they mentioned it's called Ramen Yahiro. And he said it's a chain restaurant, but said that she really liked the ramen there. I'm like, okay, let's see what you got. And it wasn't far at all. It was probably about maybe quarter mile, give or take.
Yeah.
And
that's the thing about staying in that location we were at. Yeah. Everything is so walkable. Yeah. It's a fantastic location if you're ever in Barcelona.
If you don't mind walking for 30 minutes, everywhere we went, to include the bus station that took us to the mountain, we could have walked there, but we ended up doing Ubers and cabs.
Yeah.
So,
but it was too easy to walk around.
It was.
Yeah. So we got there, and again, we had a full day, and then sleep one again.
Yeah, but I want to say Ramen Yahiro, the whole food. They have an Asian menu. So you can pull spring rolls that would come from Vietnam and ramen that would come from Vietnam, but you could also get kimchi. You could get all the different tastes of food. And then my baby was full, so it's time to go to sleep. No hanging out. But we did, look around while we were walking back, so that was pretty good.
Yep. And then on our last day was a slow day.
Yes.
On purpose.
Yes.
Because we had done a lot. We had been through a lot, and we knew we had to go fast and furious throughout these 3-4 days we were going to be there. So we all had breakfast together, and then everybody went their separate ways on what we wanted to do.
Can you take a minute and explain to them why you always, when you book travel, you plan a downtime?
Oh, because you must.
Yeah.
There's no point in overworking yourself when you don't get a chance, when you're exhausted trying to do every single thing, then you just lose track of everything that you've done because you're just delirious out here walking around, jet lagged, and just
don't remember what you saw.
So, no, you have to work in a time where you just rest and just be on your own terms. You don't have to schedule tours every single day for every hour of the day. So,
and also when you're with a group, it gives you an opportunity to go separate ways.
Yeah, let people do what they want to do,
and allow them to feel like they're on vacation as well. So
So with that, I did a little shopping because there are a lot of Zara's around, and there was a lot of different areas.
I just followed.
Well, on our way to the market.
Yes, we ended up going to the market.
Walking down to the market, the Mercat de.
The Mercat de Boqueria. Goodness.
Okay.
The Mercat de la Boqueria.
All right, there you go.
It's a favorite of ours. It's a open market, but it's covered, and it's famous there. It's like historical there, and here simply explain it. Food everywhere. Once you walk under there, food everywhere.
Yeah.
I'm talking different sausages for your charcuterie boards. I'm talking fruit drinks. I'm talking cheeses. I'm talking the different nuts. The different nuts. We're talking. You can get meals there. There's restaurants
juices,
in there.
Raw, fresh.
Goats there. There's calf legs. It's a full market. And it's an amazing place to go.
Yep.
And this is our second time there. Yeah, we snacked on there because they'll let you taste anything. And so if you play it right, you fool by the time you leave, right? But I promise you, there's something in there that you'll want to buy. And then
it was time for dinner.
Time for the show.
Yeah, it was time for us to get ready for dinner later on that evening. So I had it scheduled for us to do a flamenco show.
Yeah. And if you don't know, the Jones is like a flamenco show.
Yeah. We did the flamenco show with tapas at Tableau Flamenco Cordobes. So they, with that, there was a buffet style
Yep.
that we went to.
And it was a, you could easily get full, but I look at it as there's a bunch of Spanish foods,
dishes.
dishes that you can select from and eat and
Yeah.
find out what you like. And
Yeah.
then they had a whole 2 walls of dessert. So
Yep, all the wine, all
Yeah.
the drinks that you want
Wines.
to. You know, it was great.
yeah. And then it was time for the dance.
Yeah, the flamenco show was amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So there was 4 people in the band. There's 2 guitar players and then 2 vocals. But they all sang a little bit. And, flamenco is the song, and then the dance goes with it. And there were 3 dancers, all right? There was a woman, and this lady, she was young and knew what she was doing. I'm talking about spirited and just stepping, right?
so we had front row seats.
Oh, yeah,
We were right there at the stage.
Yeah, we were literally the first thing they saw when they came out.
Yeah.
All right. Then there was a young gentleman that came out. I swear he may have been 20. He looked maybe 20, 22, somewhere around there. But he came out and he had his hair, pulled back and styled. And within 37 seconds, that joker's hair was all over the place. And he was getting it, right? And so Lance is the proof that we have that we went to a flamenco show, because while that guy was dancing and going, he was just throwing sweat all over the place, and Lance is like, oh Lord. So it's pretty funny. But that young guy was talented. I'd probably say he was my favorite dancer.
Right.
And then you had the old veteran. He's a little older. He had some gray around the
closed the show
edges, but that joker came with it. He was like, I let the youngins go. Now take this.
Yeah.
So it was a great show.
Yeah, that was our second time
Yeah.
going to a flamenco show in Barcelona.
Yes.
And I think this was probably my favorite.
Yeah. I mean, first off, the first one we went to was sort of like a hole in the wall. And so, like in the U.S., if you go to a hole in the wall, that's usually where you hear the best musicians, the best singers,
Get the best food,
and the best alcohol, and to just have a party, right? So we thought this was it. But this second time, the performance was much better, and we got a meal.
Yeah, and we
So
got a meal on
I
this
ain't
one.
complaining.
Yeah. Yeah, but after the show, we slowly walked back to the hotel because again, everything was all around the area of the hotel,
And it's packed.
and we took our time and just seeing the sights at night. Soaking up the Barcelona nightlife.
Found the
and people
31
were-
flavors and got me a
that's-
strawberry Baskin Robbins, got me a milkshake. But like she said, we just was wandering back, just taking our time and soaking in the moment.
Yeah, I think it was a perfect way to end this short trip that we were on.
It was the perfect way to wrap up the trip. Right?
Yep, we had 4
We had a
days
blast.
in Barcelona.
With good
It went by
friends,
very fast.
Very good food.
Yep.
And we had some
We
great
just tried to make
memories,
every
yeah.
moment count while we were there.
Yep. You got any tips for the people?
I do.
Okay.
Tip number 1,
Yes.
the H10 Metropolitan is a perfect stay for your Barcelona visit.
Yeah.
It's in the city center. You can walk around to all different areas, no matter which way you go, left, right, front, behind it.
Yeah. And it's a nice hotel on
Right.
top of that.
Yes. Tip number 2. There's so much to see in Barcelona, but you have to at least go to the La Sagrada Familia.
Yeah.
You must do that.
You may think it's ugly, you may think it's beautiful, but you can't tell me that the architecture is not amazing.
yeah.
It's one of a kind for real.
Yep. Tip number 3.
What you got?
Use a guide when seeing something unique and new. You get all the details from your guide instead of walking around aimlessly, not knowing what you're looking at. You can get some history behind all the details and intricacies from the
And you're
what you're looking
always
at.
going to get stuff that's not on Wikipedia.
or Google. Yeah. Tip number 4. Schedule a private transportation at least 45 minutes to an hour after your scheduled arrival.
Don't be like the Joneses.
Because when we booked our black lane, they actually did a solid for us, and they credited us back our money that we paid because we didn't get a chance to use that driver for that day.
Yeah.
But schedule your trip at least 45 minutes to an hour after you arrive so that by the time the driver gets there, it'll give you some
2
leeway
hours,
time.
technically.
Because if you get stuck in the customs line, they stay for extra complimentary 60 minutes.
Yeah.
So if you already scheduled yours 45 minutes to an hour after, then it gives you more leeway when you're in customs. So don't do like we did.
Yeah.
Do better than us.
Just in case.
So tip number 5.
Number 5.
Contact Jones Getaways because we have the travel experience, the travel business knowledge, and we care that you have the best experiences possible.
And we learn from our mistakes to save you the trouble.
Yep.
That's
exactly.
the best way.
Yep.
But just look at it this way. From long lines to late night tapas, it was all a part of this amazing story.
Yep.
And that, good people, was our 4 days in Barcelona.
Yep. And we want a big thanks and shout out to our friends Audrey and Lance for making this trip even more fun.
Yes, agreed. And thank you for watching. So make sure you like, comment, and subscribe for more travel tips and recommendations with Nikki and Tommie.
Yep. Remember to travel often, travel smart, and travel safe.
There you go. Until next time.
Bye.